Me 34 meters with my wife 33F married 12 years, together 17. You guessed it, Reddit. She cheated. With my friend. Sorry for the long post. Mod deleted for asking question the wrong way. Question is now restated. We lived in another country for 3 years, and when we moved back, we decided to move somewhere new, rather than where we were originally from. This meant having to develop a new social network. We were finally financially stable enough to live in a really nice neighborhood, and so we did just that. The problem with this neighborhood, though, is that most of the people suck. Real snooty and either keep to themselves or keep very tight cliques socially. This place is hard to crack. So, the wife is constantly on me, the social one, to make us some friends, and it was really becoming a point of contention for us. We were bored. Not only that, we were fighting about small thing all the time and things were just getting uglier and uglier. So one day last August we are at the neighborhood pool and I decide I'm going to meet as many people as I can and see if anything sticks. I meet a few couples and tell them our story and invite them to a BBQ the next weekend. A few came over and one couple, in particular, we really hit it off with. We end up all staying up until 2 AM drinking on the patio. Great. I made us some friends. Woohoo. And we became fast friends. Hanging out every weekend, our kids were great together, hell. We even took a mini vacation to the ocean with them after a couple of months hanging out. Things were great, or so I thought. Well, like my wife, shy, introverted and pretty socially awkward from time to time. The guy in their relationship, let's just call him McDouche, was very similar. But his wife, Mrs. McDouche, was a lot like me, extroverted and very social, and not nearly as douchey as her other half. So I start to notice that McDouche is becoming more interested in my wife than myself, or the group friendship. I just chalk it up to their similar personality types and let it be. Now for that part you all came for, first incident. Fast forward to Christmas time, and we had gotten a babysitter for all of our kids, and had a night out for dinner and some good old country western dancing. That is when McDouche took his douchiness to a new level. He wasn't directly trying to pursue my wife. It was almost like he was trying to offer me his, making weird comments and about how I should dance with her, and he won't be offended I did dance with her because she was the only one besides myself who could two-step. After a couple of dances he starts in with comments like, do you like dancing with her? And it's really weird, but I feel like I move better when I dance with your wife. Do you feel that same with Mrs. McDouche? And I was like, holy yes, it, this dude is drunk as hell. Thinking that is all that is was. I brushed it off. After we all got back to my house to relieve the babysitter, it got even more weird. Everyone was good and drunk. We were all hanging out. Christmas tree aglow. The wife's end up falling half asleep on the couch. Yes, it's a huge couch, bought in Europe, and can fit many people. I step away, probably to PSS, and I come back to see McDouche trying to squeeze in and spoon behind my wife, in like what the duck dude, and has like, let's see if she notices. Drunk as I was like, alright Artard, let's see how you like it, and I pull the same message. Well, nobody made a big deal, and it went on for a few minutes. Then my brain kicked in, and I realized this isn't normal at all. I look over, and I see McDouche trying to dry HMP fully clothed, what I can only assume is his remarkably small pecker to my wife's rear. I was originally thinking this was going to be a game or joke, but now as it got real I guess he was thinking we were about to swap, but no. That it ended quick. I jumped up, and he quickly realized had gone too far. I told him to get his kid and get the duck out. The next day rolls around and I get a one-line text from him saying sorry, things got weird. I was like, nah, I'm not even going to respond. A few more days pass and then I get the big long text about how drunk he was and how he went too far and it would never happen again, and how our group friendship means too much to both of the McDouches to ruin over one drunken night. I wait another day or so, and I can see that my wife is upset that this situation happened, and she doesn't want to let the friendship die either. So I respond to his text, but I laid out ground rules. Keep your hands off my wife. Don't be a douche. Respect my marriage even when you're drunk. Respect your own wife. Blah blah blah. He responds and agrees, and apologized one more time, and assured me it won't happen again. They take off for a week for Christmas to see family and I'm glad I don't have to face the awkwardness for a while. It continues through text thing text second incident. So my brother lives about 2 hours away and we decide we are going to go visit his family for Christmas Day. Unlike my neighborhood, his is awesome. Tons of people come over to his house from the neighborhood and we are all having a great garage Christmas night party. I notice my wife disengaged, but that isn't out of the norm. She doesn't love big groups of people. She's just sitting off to the side on her phone. I asked what was up and she just says Pinterest or something. I trust her. Later in the night, when she isn't around her phone, I see a text come in. Guess from who? McDouche. It was a punctuation mark. That's all. I asked her about it. She's like, I don't know. So I ask why they are texting together and not in the group text like we always have. She says they aren't. And it was some mistake. A couple of weeks later all had seemed to calm down. After we had them over one night, my wife had left her phone hooked up to the stereo in the garage and I was cleaning things up. I hear the text come through the speaker and again, a punctuation mark. I've seen this before. I contemplate for a few minutes and I return a smiley face text just to see what happens. Smiley face comes back. Now I'm ducking agitated and I'm figuring out this is how he is checking to see if she is available to talk. I wonder how many stupid ducking punctuation texts have happened that I didn't know about. I didn't even delete it. I just left it on her phone so she might realize that I'm onto their game. But everything had been deleted by her. So proving anything was going on was next to impossible. Nearing the end, third incident. Now that I'm onto something going on, I'm not my normal, awesome self. I'm actually turning into the type of accusatory, insecure type of person I really don't like that much. We hang out a few times over the next few weeks and the weekend of the Super Bowl I have heard a recit load of denying and excuses and explanations about how our problems are in the marriage and nothing is going on. I somehow fall for it and decide to not be a goober and believe somehow that I've been making way too big a deal. I try to be the good guy and I decide to take my wife out on a date. You know, start getting things back on track. Drinks, dinner and a movie. Wife has the idea to invite the McDouches and I reluctantly agree. We are at a bar and having a good old time. Beer helps me forget my anger about the situation that she has me convinced I made up. So we get carried away and some other friends text and say they are just down the way at a different bar. We decide to skip the movie and go meet our other friends that are not even 5-minute drive away. We get there and my wife realizes she doesn't have her ID. Well, we had packed into McDouche's car and he drove us to the new place, so this is it. This is when it happens. McDouche says, hey, he'll drive you back to the other place and we can get it. I'm in conversation with my friends and they just sort of step away. For probably half an hour to 45 minutes I'm trying to keep it cool as the night went on. McDouche is trying to stay up and hang out even though his wife wasn't feeling well. So we dropped her off at her house and head to mine. Again relieve the sitter. These two can tell him not feeling this acid at all and we decide to call it. My wife goes in the house to get his baby out of the crib and says, I'm just going to jump in the car and ride home with McDouche so he doesn't have to wake her by putting her in the car seat. I don't let it happen. I think I stopped it. But I didn't. Whatever happened when they went to get the ID. The next day is the Super Bowl, one of my favorite days of the year. I can barely look at her, but I still can't prove anything. She is getting pissy at me and is basically screaming that nothing happened. The next day I was screwing around with my phone and I realized that since we have the same iTunes account I can turn her texts on my phone. Where I work I get really bad reception, so I do this. And she and IML argue most of the day. She is a very convincing liar. I'm starting to feel like a ducking crazy person because nothing comes through on text that day. That is, until I'm leaving work at the end of the day. My phone all of a sudden gets all of the texts from the day. It was 59. Lots of love ADOVS it. Lots of does your husband know anything? Lots of maybe we should take a break. That kind of crap. But because it hit all at once the order of the texts were completely out of whack. I take the kids to a friend's house when I get home from work and I give her one last chance to tell me if anything was going on. She lies. I ask, when is the last time you spoke to McDouche? She says when we saw them Saturday. I show her my phone, she is caught. I decide that these two have been putting me through hell. So a group text is in order for all four of us. I write something to the effect of, hey guys, my wife is cheating on me. Mrs. McDouche is very concerned and asks if I need to talk. I told her no. But if she wants more details, just to ask her husband it was with him. She won't go into details about what happened. I don't know how far they went, but she did admit they became physical. As if the emotional affair wasn't enough. I guess she knows that if I knew everything, there is not chance I'd stay. Aftermath. I'm still at home and this was a few months ago. I struggle with leaving because I'm the stable-minded one of the parents and I fear how breaking up the home will affect my kids. I've put in a lot of work and effort to build my family and get us to where we are, and I ducking hate the thought of breaking that up. I can't look at her in the eyes though, not with the same love and respect I once had for her, but only getting my kids half of the time seems like it would be harder for me. I have figured out that my wife and McDouche have been in contact at least a couple of times since this happened. But now my wife acts like she knows she ducked up and doesn't want to lose me. She finally admitted that she deals with depression and anxiety, is now on antidepressants. But she still continues to make wrong choices in our marriage. I don't hate her. I hate what she did. I've lost so much respect for her. And I have some level of love because we have a family. But I don't think it'll be the same ever. Oh. And I have always been anti-divorce. But now that it is not all sunshine and ducking rainbows, I'm trying to see if I'm able to reconsider. Thanks for those of you that read this. I know, way too long. Here's a question. What do you think I should do? Stay or leave? For those who have been through this and stayed, I would love to hear how you got through it. Oh, and a lad. This isn't supposed to be a poor puppy dog story or woe is me post. I'm genuinely looking for advice on a specific issue dealing with a problem that will have huge consequences for me and my family. Before the first version was deleted I got some great feedback and thanks to those who commented before. Also from that, I realized that strangers will tell the truth, while friends and family will try to play to feelings. Two very different things. TL. Dr. Wife wanted us to make some friends in our new city. I found some, became best friends, and then my wife cheated on me with the guy who called me his best friend. Duck that guy. Edit 1. Update. Well, she was out of town when this was originally posted. I greatly appreciate all of your words of advice. Now that she is back, and the holiday weekend spent with family has passed, it is time to address things with her. I have some very strong reasons to believe she strayed again while on her business trip, but haven't confirmed yet. Hope to have a new way forward with my life soon. Again, thank you all for taking the time and giving me several perspectives I haven't thought of. For those of you that see this, that are praying people, please say one for me and my family. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1. This was a planned, considered affair. Your wife took advantage of your good nature and trust to cheat on you. The selfishness of your wife and yes, your friend, but we are not discussing him, has led to the destruction of two families. This is not your fault. You gave her ample time to end it. You gave her ample chances to admit it. You worked on the relationship. You fought, and you fought hard. Well done. Now you're standing over the ruins of your marriage. Yes, she has excuses, but she also had the forethought and planning to create a system where she can cheat on you and talk to him without you figuring it out. She wasn't careless. This was considered cunning and cruel. A one-night stand is hard to recover from, but can be done. This wasn't a one-night stand. She has destroyed your trust. She has destroyed all semblance of loyalty, love and romance between you. Frankly put, she has discarded her role of wife and mother to be a fuck toy for someone else. Keep the evidence. Talk to a lawyer. Fight like hell for the kids. Even if you do not end it. Do not forget this. Do not forget what she has done. This isn't a negotiation. This isn't a partnership. She has ducked up royally. She should be on her knees begging for your forgiveness. And it is up to you to accept. Although I counsel otherwise. Again, go to a lawyer. Get checked for stees. Fight for the kids. If there is a chance she has done this in the past, consider a paternity check on the children. If you are not 100 sure, cheaters tend to have a history. and she convinced you that you were wrong this time. So who knows? Redditor 2. Leave. This isn't some sort of in the moment cheating. This is planned out cheating. I'm willing to bet that she even forgot to bring her ID on purpose, so she would have an excuse to leave and duck this guy. Also, speaking as someone with divorced parents, divorce really isn't that hard on kids. It's much worse for them to be exposed to a loveless marriage anyways. Redditor 3. Yo dude. Easy way to find out how long it's been going on. And believe me, you deserve to know the truth, because your kids depend on you being the one making informed decisions and looking out for their mental and physical well-being. Take her phone and plug it into your computer and visit YouTube and search for iPhone text recovery. The whole process takes like 2 minutes and it puts the deleted texts and images on your computer and not back onto your phone. She won't know you did it. Having this evidence saved somewhere might come in handy for when she decides to run for a divorce and paint you as the black sheep. Also, duck this other guy's marriage, send that acid to his wife. Do you also happen to know where he works?